Whether you're having a not moving off the couch while you watch the game kind of day, or a no time between conference calls kind of day, it can still be a delicious Dunkin' kind of day. And with Dunkin' now available on DoorDash, it's easier than ever to get your faves brought right to your door. So if you're looking for coffees, donuts, and breakfast sandwiches in the morning, craving some afternoon snack and bacon, or in need of Dunkin' refreshers for a PM pick-me-up, we've got you covered. Order now and get your faves brought to your door through Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. Price and participation may vary. Exclusions apply. America runs on Dunkin'.
Hike the trail? Check. Order takeout? Check. Schedule heart checkup? Done. We've all adapted to a new way of living. Keep your healthcare on schedule with Johns Hopkins Medicine, where your health and safety are our highest priorities. We're ready to care for you through virtual and in-person visits across Maryland and the greater Washington region. Your health, our experts, safely caring for you. Schedule your care now. Learn more at hopkinsmedicine.org/safe.
So welcome to the Stephen Shiels Radio Show. I'm here with a guest speaker who I've known for a few years, named T. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks so much for having me on, Stephen.
No, you're welcome, T. So T, we studied together a bachelor's degree. Since your degree, what have you done with your life?
Wow, what a big question. Since I graduated, I decided I want to start putting out some music under like a solo music project. Mm-hmm. And that project is called Lopea. Mm-hmm. And last year I put out two songs, and then this year I'm putting out another song. It comes out actually this Friday, which is really exciting. Mm-hmm. And then next year I'm putting out my first EP, which is 7 songs. Mm-hmm. And I hope to put out a second EP next year as well, later in the year.
No, it's always exciting when you're publishing your EP or any albums. You know, this year I published my first single to Spotify.
I saw that. Yeah. I really like it, man.
Death and Life. No, that did quite well. But yourself writing your EPs, are you publishing these to any Spotify or Apple Music? What?
Yeah, they're all up on. They will be up on Spotify and Apple Music and whatnot. My singles are already up there, the songs I've already put out, and I basically use this service called DistroKid, which you probably know, maybe you use it as well, but they make it super easy to put your music up onto all those streaming platforms, and you get all your royalties and everything, so you get that 67 cents or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can make your living with that money.
Yeah, it's always good to have a distributor. I've used a couple. I've used TuneCore, and now I'm using Ditto Music as well as SoundCloud.
How's that?
Yeah.
To be honest, I've only ever used DistroKid, so I'd love to hear your perspective on the different distributors and what you've experienced.
Yeah, look, I've found if I pay yearly with my distributor, it's much better rather than paying per release. So with Ditto Music, I was able to just pay a yearly plan. That's it.
Oh, that's great.
And SoundCloud, well, they've got free uploads, but only up to a certain amount.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be moving away from SoundCloud. I publish this podcast to SoundCloud as well, but they're good. No, and I've found too, like, it's been very, very competitive with whole Spotify playlisting. What's been your story getting popular on Spotify
playlists?
Yeah.
Look, it's such a tough one. And since I put out my first 2 songs, I've kind of learned a bit through that process of, how to get on playlists and whatnot. I can't say I've had huge success with getting on any big ones, but I've been able to get on some smaller ones and get a few streams through that, which is great. The services that I used in the past and that I'm using at the moment are called Submit Hub, which is a great one, Playlist Push, and there's also one called Daily Playlist, I believe it is. And I think Submit Hub is one of my favorite because you essentially, it is like a little bit pay to play, like you say put on like $10, and then you can send your music out to 10 different playlist curators or bloggers, and you get to like you can put a description of the song up there and some photos, and you can search through their list of different Spotify playlists and find something that suits your genre, which is really great. So it kind of helps you out to find something that's in your niche.
So it's kind of like a sort of promotion service as well.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I guess it gets so hard for these people that have these Spotify playlists because, everyone wants to put their music onto official playlists, and if everyone wants to do it, how do you kind of manage that? So I think having a little bit of pay to play is reasonable. Like, I don't mind paying $1 to have someone listen through my whole track and give feedback on it, whether they like it or not. I still get some feedback, and if they like it, then they get to put it on their playlist. And
yeah. Look, I've had a bit of experience with pay to play, but it's not something I'm going to rely on. And I'll be honest with you. I was told it's probably not the best way to be promoting it long term.
No, I agree.
I don't blame you for doing it, because it's very tough when you see a Spotify profile. They've got like 1 million streams and you've got 25.
Yeah. I think the thing to be careful with is that there are a lot of services out there that will promise you streams in return for money, and that's definitely something you want to avoid, because most of them are just scams or bots. But that's why I do enjoy services like Submit Hub, because they are, real people, and I think that the downside to it as well is that even if you get on one of their playlists, it's not guaranteed that it's going to bring in lots of listens. It's just a chance for, for exposure, like all these things, But something else I did want to mention is the Spotify for Artists submission form, which is such a great initiative from Spotify, because it lets you pitch your music directly to Spotify's playlist editors for official Spotify playlists. I haven't been able to get on any yet so far.
Neither have I.
This Friday, if I've managed to get my new song on any. But that's a great one from Spotify.
Yeah, it is a good one from Spotify. I've been submitting to Spotify for artist playlists since Death and Life, and still haven't heard back.
Yeah? Oh, look, it's so hard, right? I haven't got anything, and maybe we'll have to see how I go the next one. But it's just I think it's a great initiative from Spotify, and a great chance to at least have your music heard and tested out. So, you just got to keep doing it. Eventually, you get something and you have a little bit of success, so you just got to keep trying, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, being musician / entrepreneur, you're always facing constant rejection.
Oh, yeah. I think you learn to love that process there, right? Like, I don't know about you, but you just get better at getting along with it, and just, even if it gets rejected, great, like, I've learned something, just move on to the next thing, keep doing it.
Yeah, myself too. I'm always finding, if I'm going to write a new track, or I'll be writing another album in 2021. So I've just recently published a single called Apocalypse on Spotify.
Cool.
I will play that in the podcast at the end once it gets published.
I think I need to check that one out still. But I see you're always putting up new music, which I love, and you just constantly at it. So
yeah, I do
that's all there is to it, right?
Electronic work and orchestrated. I write for orchestra as well. So there's a bit of both. Like Judas, when I published that Judas, I think Judas was my. There was Death and Life, Broken Heart, then Judas. That was my third single. That
came out this year, Judas, or was that last year? I'm trying to remember.
This year. That did quite well.
Yeah, nice one.
What works have you found that do better than others?
Oh, like out of stuff that I've released.
Yeah.
I think it's really tough with Spotify, because I like it's such a different medium to anything that's come before in terms of like the CD or the vinyl, because there really is like a kind of Spotify formula for songs, which is a little sad, because the thing that's most likely to be successful on Spotify is something that say has like the chorus first, is like fairly short, not too long, and it's just like kind of not too out there or anything, if you know what I mean. Like that is what's most likely to be successful on Spotify. So I think it does affect the way that people write songs now, and it definitely affects the final product. But for me, I just try less to think about and just write stuff that I enjoy, and just keep doing that.
What stuff do you enjoy writing about mostly, T?
I really love storytelling, and my favorite writers are Elton John and Carole King, or say Bernie Taupin, who wrote all the lyrics for Elton John. But I just really love the way that they're able to tell a story, and I think that people connect with stories, and the stories doesn't have to be about yourself, it could be about anyone. Like, if I think of a song like I don't know, say something like Rocket Man, it's probably about Elton John, but it's not explicitly like his life story or anything. It's just like a story, Anyone can relate to that.
No, I guess if there is a story, and you write a song, it always comes out better rather than just writing random crap.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely a place for like random crap, like not always crap, but a place for random stuff and experimental stuff. But at the moment, I really love just writing like kind of story-driven music. Maybe the one day that'll change, and I'll be writing about I don't know, random crap. But let's see.
So tell everyone what software you use to record your work.
Oh yeah, so at the moment I use Ableton Live.
Yep.
I think I'm on version 10 at the moment. And in the past I used Pro Tools and I tried Logic for a bit, but they didn't really work that well for me, like in terms of flow. And though Ableton does have some downfalls and things, it can't do everything that, say, Pro Tools or Logic can do. I just like the flow of it, and it just works for me, so I've stuck with it.
Yeah, I've recently moved from GarageBand to Logic.
Nice one. How do you like Logic?
Logic's better. The Judas was composed on GarageBand.
Honestly, it's all you need. Like any of those programs that are out there now are enough to write something great if you really put the time in.
See, with Pro Tools Pro Tools, I think it was years ago, was the be all and end all. But then since they decided to go to a subscription based, musicians are walking away from it, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, I agree. I don't enjoy subscription based stuff. I was lucky to get a perpetual Pro Tools license when I was studying. So I'd still have that, but I couldn't see myself on a subscription now. I really like just paying for something once and having it. So I don't know what's going to happen with Pro Tools. It's still a great program. I just think that their business approach isn't great.
Yeah, and when you are completing your track and you do your mixing and mastering, how long do you spend on mixing and mastering, T?
Oh, it definitely depends track to track. I remember my second song that I put out, Postcard from Bologna, I did with a local mix engineer and producer called Daniel Natali in the studio, and we smashed that out in, I think we did 1 6-hour session on the mix and then a 3-hour session to master it. And that was a quick one. But say something like my new song that I'm putting out this Friday, which is called Not Me, I did with Dan 3 6-hour days for mixing, And then I sent it off to a guy in London for mastering, which was really cool. I'd never done that. But definitely a lot of time mixing that one and just getting it like as tight as possible.
Yeah, I suppose it's all a personal preference, you know. It's
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to spend too much time on something because you just get fatigued. And what do they call it? Like I can't think of the word, but you know, you just start thinking of too many things for it and trying to do too much when often the simpler and the quicker solution is the best.
yeah. I've found my experience with mixing and mastering. I think I'll spend a maximum of half an hour.
That's fair, and you know, like if you have a good ear for it, like why not? I do remember watching it was like a video on YouTube of George Martin with Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys, and they were running through some of the old stems of the Beatles. No, of the Beach Boys tracks.
Yeah.
And I remember George Martin sat at the desk for about, I think, 30 seconds and just did a basic mix with the faders. And Brian Wilson was amazed, and it sounded great. And Brian Wilson was like, "That's better than the mix I did. That took me weeks, and you just did that in 30 seconds." Like, so yeah, it is developing your ear and your intuition for what sounds good, for sure.
See, I'm a firm believer. I like to do like my mixing and mastering in the morning. I find that's when I'm most
I love that.
energetic and fresh, rather than late in the afternoon. I'd be tired, or if I've had a really shit day, you know, just won't do it properly. You know, and I've learnt from my mistakes. I've stuffed up tracks, done too much than what it needed.
Yeah, everyone does it, right? I think that's great that you have that approach to like figuring out a time of day and habits that work best for you, because I'm still kind of figuring that out a bit. But it's so true that a lot of things you do have more energy for first thing in the morning.
It's like if I want to write for, you know, I do my orchestration, I'll find I might do 2 hours in the morning. You know,
Nice
that's
one.
when I
Yeah.
feel most productive, because there's a lot of thinking involved when you're writing for an orchestra rather than electronic.
I can imagine. I've never done anything that's that large scale as an orchestral piece.
But you know, I guess it's a journey. I mean, I don't know. Would you need a mixing engineer or a mastering engineer now when you can do it yourself? What do you prefer?
I really love getting someone else in to work on the tracks, because at least for me, I feel like I developed such a bias to how I think the song should be, and how I think it should sound and what I want out of it. And just getting someone else in that has a fresh approach and that I really trust their opinion and their work, it goes such a long way for me. And yeah, look, I'm not that great at mixing personally. Like, I do a lot of it for just random little bits, but not for any of my professional songs I've released. But yeah, who knows? Maybe one day I would love to mix my own tracks, but at the moment I really love getting someone else's opinion in, and the same goes for mastering as well, because I think even it's the same with like the mix engineer. Like, if you get the mix engineer to master it, they often also have that that bias, which is natural. You know, we all have it, and it's really great to then get someone else in for mastering that has a fresh approach to the track.
Yeah, mastering's just the final touches. You have to have a good mix before, you know, mastering.
Yeah,
I found.
Exactly. I mean, like, for this latest track I did, I think it only took the mastering only took about like maybe half an hour with this guy I sent it to in London. And yeah, it's so true. Like, most of your song, like, the quality is already decided in the recording and the arrangement and the performance and the mix. And mastering doesn't change too much, but at the same time, if you do have a good track, a good master will just make it really shine, you know?
Yeah, I suppose, when you provide the finishing touches, that's what makes the best of the work that stands out, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, like like you said, at the end of the day, the master isn't going to make that much of a difference to the track. But sometimes it is the cherry on top that just makes it shine.
No, well, that's exactly right. But I remember too. Did you do an engineering degree, or were you going to be an engineer?
You have a great memory. I didn't finish it, but I did 1 year of electrical engineering and physics at university, and then decided that wasn't for me, and decided I wanted to chase my dream and do music. And yeah, you have a great memory, Stephen. Very good.
What didn't you like about engineering? Why'd you change your mind to be a musician too?
Oh wow, a loaded question. I love it. Well, I think at the time I wasn't really cut out for what was required out of an engineering degree. Like, I don't think that I was really good enough at coping with stress and with a workload that large. I think that if I had have, stuck it out, I would have eventually got there and finished it. But that experience of just like kind of feeling that stress and not really feeling that excited or keen on it really made me just think, wow, I just really want to do music and give that a shot in my life and write some songs and just do that. And I just was like, all right, I'm going to do it.
And
it took a while for me to decide that, but yeah.
How are you with numbers?
Oh, wow. Well, I get a bit sad now because I feel like I've lost a lot of the knowledge I used to have in those fields because I was a huge science and math nerd, and I was so into that stuff and spent a lot of time studying it. And 5 years later now, I really struggle with a lot of basic things sometimes, which is a little sad, but that's life. You can't know it all and be good at everything. I feel like I'm a lot better at music now, and I have much better skills in that area. So, yeah.
No, well, that's it. I guess you've found what you're mostly good at.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm still very new to this and still getting better, but I feel like I'm on the right track with it at least.
And where do you want to go with your journey in music? What do you want to do with it?
I think I'd really love to just being able to keep writing and releasing music and playing some shows and stuff. When I was in lockdown, when we were all in lockdown at the start of the year, I was just spending a lot of time writing, and I got really deep into it and decided I wanted to kind of write like an overarching story for the Lopea project.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of thought up concepts for 7 different albums and like a kind of style for each of them and some ideas to incorporate. And I'd really love to be able to see that through and finish that. And yeah, I think that's my biggest goal at the moment, is just to keep pushing through that and finishing those ideas that I had.
Yeah, the whole lockdown situation was so weird.
How did you find that? Were you more productive in that? Like, did you get a lot done?
Yeah, I managed. That's how I did all my writing. That's why I just thought, fuck it, I'll just go and publish all my work in the lockdown.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's funny for a lot of people, especially artists. Like, it was really one way or the other. It would completely hinder their creativity and their process, or it really just brought out the best in a lot of people. But
and I remember, just hearing the news every single day. Oh my God, it was a nightmare. All over the news. Negative. Every morning you just wake up, COVID-19.
yeah, it was hard, you know. And without going into it too much, like we didn't really understand the full extent of like the damage it could do and what its effects would be and how long this was going to last. So it was a really stressful time for everyone. Hey.
No, gosh, yeah, it was. You know, and people, lost a lot of jobs out of it.
Oh, definitely.
People went crazy. You know.
It's true.
What coping mechanism did you use during the whole lockdown?
I would love to say that I coped well with it, but I don't think I really coped that well. Like, music was a great coping mechanism in writing, but I definitely ate a lot, you know. I was doing a lot of cooking and eating a lot of food and, like everyone, putting a few kilos, but I do love cooking, so I think cooking was a good coping mechanism.
Yeah, it's just not normal to, live one day normal and then bang, just like that. It feels like, a fucking ghost town.
Definitely.
And,
were you around the city much when it was, like, starting to lock down?
No, the last time I went to the city, I went on the first responders cruise because I'm a volunteer firefighter. So I went on a free cruise. That was before the pandemic hit. That was, I think it was late February, early March.
Yeah, okay.
Living normal, went down to Circular Quay, got on the boat, partied, never heard about the social distancing, and then, one day getting told, the gym's closing, the parks are closing, and I just remember walking outside of my place. It was just a ghost town, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I went up to my local shop, right, to get takeaway, and there's this police car just patrolling the street.
Yeah, making sure everyone's home.
Yeah.
Hard for everyone. Hard for the police to have to do that as well, I'm sure. Did
you end up leaving the house, or how did you just stay home in lockdown?
Yeah, I was pretty good at just staying home and not going out too much, only for groceries and whatnot. I bought a little bit of gym equipment like early on. I tried to stay a little bit fit, but it's so hard to you can't really keep up your same routine with just a little bit of home equipment unless you're really dedicated. I'm not that dedicated, but I do love a bit of fitness.
Yeah, and all the Zoom meetings online as well. Oh,
Such a mess.
It's just you're living in a virtual world.
Yeah, I was, do you know the song Virtual Insanity by Jamiroquai?
What? Who? Tell me more about him.
He was just this great funky artist from like the late 90s, early 2000s. And he just has this song called Virtual Insanity that's about technology and virtual reality, and I just thought that was I was just listening to a lot of that song during all that. I thought it's like the theme song for quarantine in 2020.
Yeah, I never thought that 2020 was going to be a pandemic, especially last year with all the bushfires hanging around, and then this came up, this virus, and I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Rough year for Australia.
Oh, rough year for the whole world, T. I mean, countries like Italy, we're fucked.
Yeah, I did see that. A lot of Europe, especially, we just got hit so hard.
Yeah.
In America, what can you do?
Can't do anything, mate.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for 2021. Well, actually, I went to a concert on Saturday night. It was free, and it was a bloody darn good feeling to get out of the house and go and watch live music.
That's amazing. What did you go see?
I got free tickets for the Support Act. I think they're a funding source for musicians. It was just some contemporary.
Yeah, I've heard of that. That's awesome you got that.
You can check out my Instagram, Shiels Productions. I'll put a video up of what it was.
I've just seen that.
I think there was someone famous. Kevin Bacon. I saw him on stage.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. Kevin Bacon playing guitar, dude.
That's great that you got that, man. Good on you.
That was some good shit.
Yeah, well, I hope we see more of that, and it's looking pretty good so far. A lot more live music and somewhat a return to normal.
Have you been to any live music, or you taking a break?
Oh no, I haven't been to anything, and it makes me pretty sad. But maybe soon. I'm trying to save my money and just finish paying off all this work that I've been doing on the EP. But I can't wait to go see a show and play some as well. Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's been a lot of negativity in 2020. You know, Black Lives Matter with George Floyd. That's pretty sad as well.
Oh yeah.
I was listening to Fill in the Blanks today by Dr. Phil, and I'm talking about that, and it's just feeling so depressed, mate.
Oh yeah, it's such a depressing year, and but I think it was important for the world and everyone, and sad as it was, that things like that happened. It was a good eye opener for people, and yeah, it was not necessary, not at all, but for people to see it, it was necessary. Something like that had to happen because, yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, it's not good. You know, when you wake up, you know, like lately, I've just thinking, I don't want to be starting off my day with the news, mate, because it's just there's a lot of crap out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's something that this year made me wary of is where I get my news from, and just being more cautious about what I read. So, yeah, I think that's what you said about the first thing in the morning as well. It's really important. I think it's like really good if you can to, but for anyone, and I'm trying to get better at it, is just waking up and taking some time before looking at your phone or looking at anything. You know, take an hour to do some meditation or something, or go for a walk, and put yourself in a good mindset before you have to deal with whatever news has come that day.
Yeah, that's probably the best. You know, we live now where everything is like all digital.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but you know, besides music, what else are you doing with your life?
Oh God, well, I haven't done a whole lot else, to be really honest. I went back to work in July, and I'm there between 3 and 4 days a week, sometimes 5. But just trying to do music on my days off, and you know, slowly work towards that goal of just like generating income and a living through doing music, and having to work less in my other job, which I appreciate and I love, but it's not what I want to do. You know what I mean? So, yeah, since lockdown finished, I have been trying to really get back in the gym and get out there 5 days a week if I can, and just get back into fitness and get on track again. I don't know about you, but I think I said before, I put on a lot of kilos during quarantine, did a lot of cooking and ate too much food, but fucking too.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't good, but hopefully, you know, this will be history.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I want to remain optimistic that there won't be any more pandemics, at least for another year or two. But,
well, it'll prepare us for the next one.
Exactly. I really hope it opens people's eyes, because this has been a pretty reasonably mild pandemic in a lot of ways. Like it is it does kill a lot of people. You know, it's not something like, say, Ebola or you know, like bird flu or something like that. Some of the strains of that have been just like absolutely deadly and contagious.
I know.
So,
when I first heard about this, it was so weird right? Because this is what the symptoms are. You might not even have any symptoms and test positive to the virus. And people are during the pandemic, the health experts was telling the elderly not to visit the grandchildren in case the grandkids had it.
Yeah.
And the trouble is, the little kids.
Uncertainty, right?
I know the kids can have it and just have a mild sore throat, and they wouldn't even know you got it, and then pass it on to an elderly, and that's why if the elderly catch it, they're in a very bad situation.
Yeah, it's scary.
I know, and it was weird.
We've been so lucky here in Australia, though, right? I mean,
yeah.
Watching the rest of the world, just God, we're lucky.
Oh well, yeah, we've been lucky here.
Yeah.
But no, it's been really good having you on the show today, T.
Thanks so much, Stephen.
T, where can people find you on social media, and where can people find your music?
I'm up on Instagram under Who Is Lopea.
Yep.
And then on Spotify under Lopea, Apple Music, YouTube, all the things that you have to do as a musician these days. But yeah, I'm up there posting stuff pretty regularly, so yeah, you can find me if you want.
Sweet. And guys, you can check out my latest and greatest and fantastic single on Spotify called Apocalypse. And you can check out my work on Spotify under Stephen Shiels. Head to my website, Shiels Productions. T, fantastic. Can't wait to have you on the next show.
Thanks so much, Stephen. I look forward to it.
Alright, so what I'll do now, I'll play you my new single called Apocalypse. Enjoy.
Hike the trail? Check. Order takeout? Check. Schedule heart checkup? Done. We've all adapted to a new way of living. Keep your healthcare on schedule with Johns Hopkins Medicine, where your health and safety are our highest priorities. We're ready to care for you through virtual and in-person visits across Maryland and the greater Washington region. Your health, our experts, safely caring for you. Schedule your care now. Learn more at hopkinsmedicine.org/safe.
People say treat yourself like you need a reason, but McDonald's treats are perfect for every day. Like bold McCafe iced coffee. Get any size for $1.69. Or pick up any size sweet tea for $1. The largest served in an insulated cup that keeps your tea cold. Feeling a little extra something something? Try the classic bakery sweets like an apple fritter. With so many ways to treat yourself, you don't need an excuse. Just come back tomorrow. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.